Guys over 40, today I'm taking you through a full body workout specifically for the busy professional, the successful father who just has a lot on his plate and needs a training game plan to probably work around some injuries, build some muscle, lose some fat, and train in a way that is safe, sustainable, and highly effective. So today I'm taking you through a full body machines only workout. We're gonna lean heavy on upper body stuff today, but I'm gonna show you a couple of my favorite machines that I use for the lower body. And you might be wondering, well, why machines? Aren't machines for people who don't wanna build muscle, people who just care about staying skinny? No, absolutely not. Machines are probably my favorite tool. As I've gotten older, had kids, dealing with nagging injuries from being an athlete in the past, machines are probably the one thing I can always rely on when I come in the gym. Dumbbells are great, barbells are awesome, but machines, they really allow that mind to muscle connection in a safe way versus putting your body in a position where you might hurt your lower back, you're dealing with some shoulder soreness, and you just need a little more stability. Machines are your answer. So today we're focusing only on machines. Don't knock until you try it. Give these exercises a try. We're gonna take you through the entire process today. Let's jump into the workout. All right, guys, first exercise is the machine bike. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on the bike to start. We're just warming up. This is probably my favorite warm-up machine outside of the treadmill. I do like walking on an incline treadmill for about 5 to 10 minutes, get some extra steps, but the Airdyne, in this case, the Rogue bike, gives you an opportunity to do lower body and upper body at the same time. Just get the blood into the muscle. Warming up is a crucial part. I talk about it in every single one of my videos. Make sure you guys warm up because you're risking injury if you don't. And as the weather gets colder, or even if it's warm weather, you might have slept wrong the night before. You might be dealing with something stress-wise. Your body's a little tight. Maybe you sat a little extra the day before your workout and you're just a little tight. Make sure you warm up. We'll talk about an extensive warm-up as we jump into the first exercise. All right, guys, we're starting with the low to high row on the Hamstrings machine, which, by the way, Hamstrings machines, definitely my favorite brand of machines. There's obviously some really other great brands, but the Hamstrings just hits different. So low to high row, we're working our back. We're actually working a lot of our upper back. So if you wanna build big traps, this is one of my go-to exercises to not only build your back, but really get those traps to grow. So speaking of warm up, I know I mentioned the bike. One thing I can suggest, your first couple exercises of the day, do a couple light sets just to get the blood into the muscle. As the workout progresses, you probably don't need to do any more than one warm-up set for later exercises because you're warmed up by the time you get to those exercises. But the first couple, spend 2 to 3 sets. Don't go heavy, just get the blood in the muscle. That way you're ready for your first heavy set. So for every exercise that I'm gonna show you today, you're probably wondering how many sets, how many reps. So I'm gonna give you a strategy that I like to follow. I did not make this one up on my own, discovered it through numerous coaches, trainers over the years, but I like to start with a heavy set. So my first working set, usually between 4 to 6 reps, really pushing the weight. And then my second set is a back off set, still heavy, but just higher reps, usually 8 to 10 on my second set. So I drop the weight for my second set, but the first set is where I go all out because studies show that after your first set, the motor recruitment from the muscle, the actual muscle building signal that gets sent to your body becomes less and less powerful. So it's really the first set that your body utilizes the most in terms of response to the stimulus and then building muscle. Without getting all sciencey, go hard on your first set, okay? And then in terms of how heavy should you lift, pick a weight that causes muscle failure or form failure in the rep range that you're targeting. So that means your form starts to break down within that rep range. So if I'm shooting for 4 to 6 reps, somewhere between 4, 5, and 6 reps, my form should start to break down and I should stop the set. If the weight's not heavy enough for that to happen, then you need to go heavier. This takes some trial and error. This is why I highly recommend tracking your lifts so that you come into the gym knowing, okay, last time I failed, 225 at 6 reps. So I'm gonna shoot for, 230 or 235 today. That's progressive overload, but nonetheless, that's the sets and reps for everything today. So just, you got it for the rest of the workout. As we're moving to the lower body, we're gonna bounce around a little bit today, but I wanna give you options for the total body. So this is the hip thrust machine. You probably see it being popularized on social media by mostly females, but guys, you need to train your glutes too. The glutes are the most powerful muscle in the body. So hip thrusts are my favorite machine. A lot of gyms are starting to throw these in, which is great because it makes it easy to set up a hip thrust, which you can set up with a barbell. You can set up with a dumbbell too, but the machine just makes it so much easier. So we're gonna walk through, just make sure the belt's tight around the hips and waist. You want the legs, you want your feet to be directly under your knees, your heels to be directly under your knees. So when you drive up, which you'll see here in a second. So we're here, drive, squeezing the glutes. Keep your chin tucked. So rest time between sets, just be rested enough to hit your next set hard. Once again, that's why tracking your lifts is so important. If your strength starts to suffer because you're not resting enough, rest a little bit more. Don't be afraid of rest time. We're trying to be prepared for our next set. So you don't need to rush through the workout. It's not a race, unless you got to get out of here. But then I would just cut down on the number of exercises, focus on the basics. Even if it's only 3 or 4 exercises, that's fine. 2 to 3 minutes is typically my average rest time between sets if I'm training intensely enough. Sometimes it's longer. Doing heavy squats, it might be 4 or 5 minutes, but don't be afraid of rest time. All right, guys, for chest, my favorite chest machine is any converging chest press. My buddy Paul Carter, I say buddy, I just know Paul Carter. If he's ever watching this, thank you for reminding me of this, man. This is my favorite type of chest press machine. Obviously, there's a fixed chest press where your hands don't converge in the middle. I just prefer the converging chest press. You just get a better contraction of the chest and it just feels way more natural. So hopefully your gym has a converging chest press machine, but if it doesn't, that's okay. You can still do a hammer strength, incline hammer strength, flat bench, but the converging chest press, oh, there's nothing better. Back to lower body, focusing on hamstrings. Most people do the lying leg curl for hamstrings. Great exercise. I'm not gonna do it today because I wanna show you the seated leg curl, which in my opinion, puts a bigger contraction and emphasis on the hamstrings. Love the lying leg curl too, but man, you get strong on the seated leg curl. It's one of the most enjoyable, painful exercises that you'll do, but it hits the hamstrings so hard. So if you're having trouble with mind muscle connection here, one thing I would do is you can work with your feet and flex your toes up. That really gets the hamstrings to be activated. Try not to push them forward. Keep your toes pointed up and back. You'll instantly feel the hamstring start to contract and then squeeze. You can even put your hands right on the outside underneath your leg just to feel the hamstring working. But seated leg curl, killer hamstring exercise. 2 sets, 1 heavy, 1 a little lighter. All right, guys, time to build our shoulders. We're going back to upper body, working our side delts with the side lateral machine raise. Now, there's a couple variations of this machine. I'm doing the one where our arms are at a 90-degree angle on the pad here. The thing I like about this is it really helps you get that mind to muscle connection, especially if you hold the top or down. I do prefer the dumbbell side lateral, but sometimes when my shoulders are just being a little cranky, I like to hop on the machine, get the blood into the muscle, and then I might do a set with dumbbells. But man, this thing, whew. Side lateral, side head of the dell if you want to really round out your shoulders. Ooh, the burn on the machine is brutal. Ooh. Yeah, the pump you can get with shoulders on honestly any shoulder machine is pretty gnarly. It's just because that shoulder gets isolated so much more when everything else is stabilized. If you're doing dumbbells, sometimes you're using your body. Even if a press, there's momentum that comes into it. Machines take all that away, puts all the emphasis on the target muscle. So do not sleep on machines, guys. You're missing out. All right, guys, everybody's always asking me, how do you build your traps? Well, the answer is clearly steroids. I'm just kidding. It's actually exercises like the one I'm about to show you, which it takes a second to set up, but if you have a Smith machine, the Incline Smith machine Shrug, my goodness, prepare for total trap annihilation. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have an incline bench, set up right smack dab in the middle of the Smith machine so that we can lay face first on the incline bench, allowing our arms to extend down below. So our sternum, lower part of our chest is right here. We're pressing into the bench and we're actually leaning forward. Most people don't realize the traps actually run up your entire back. They just pop out above your shoulders. So here, and all we're gonna do is shrug, squeeze at the top. Don't worry about the earbud. Oh my goodness. Trap contraction goes crazy there. Yes, you can do dumbbell shrugs, barbell shrugs, all that's great, but this one hits that meaty part of the trap that sits in the middle part of your upper back, harder than honestly anything I've ever done. So try the Incline Smith machine Shrug. Takes a second to set up, but boy, is it worth it. All right, guys, total body workout would be incomplete if we didn't train our arms. Now, triceps, 3 heads to the tricep, but the one that gets neglected the most is the long head of the tricep. Only effective way to really train the long head is an overhead extension. So you could do it with a cable, with like a rope, or a dumbbell, but I like the overhead tricep extension machine. If you got one in your gym, ooh, consider yourself lucky. So we're here. Keep those elbows nice and stationary. Feel the tricep stretch. I mean, you just isolate the crap out of the tricep with this. And it actually feels really good on the elbow. Sometimes people complain about a cranky elbow with the overhead extension. Totally get it. That's why I love machines and cables. That constant tension just does wonders for the elbow joint. All right, guys, the other side of the arm, the bicep. We're gonna do machine preacher curls. Now, one thing I'll tell you here is just be careful with going crazy heavy. We're really just trying to get a contraction at the top of this movement. Be careful on the eccentric part of the movement, which is the stretching part. You don't need to allow your arm to fully stretch out. Just enough to get the bicep stretched here. Squeeze at the top. If this one feels weird on your bicep, just feel free to sub this out with like a cable curl or a different bicep machine. Usually every gym has 1 or 2 bicep machines, but I do like the machine preacher curl. It's really hard to get that peak contraction on anything else, but. All right, guys, that wraps up today's total body workout using just machines, designed for men over 40 who have a busy lifestyle, busy career, successful career, busy family, all the cool stuff that I know I deal with every single day. This just gives you other options to get in the gym. You may not use machines every single time, but at least you know you got them in your back pocket if you need them. So where do we go from here? Well, make sure you check out the last total body workout video I did, which gives you more options using things like dumbbells, barbells, all that cool stuff. If you want more workouts just like this, just be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you want to see, and I will film in on a future video. In the meantime, in the description of the video, I have some few next steps for you, from some freebies where you can actually get started right away on our 3M fat loss and muscle building system. Or if you are super serious about making a change this year, you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. You want to feel confident with your shirt off. You want your kids to have a role model that they can look to for health and fitness advice and better habits. If that's you, if you're like, man, I know I need to make a change, I just haven't been taking care of myself, check out the description of the video. You can learn all about our VIP 3M coaching system. And there's a whole lot more where that came from. So check that out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Leave a comment. Do all the things. And I'll see you on the next video. Life moves fast. Make it count.